If you ever doubted yourself so much that you've said no to opportunities that would change your life, maybe skipping a promotion or staying quiet in meetings or thinking I'm not good enough or even doubting whether you're helping your clients or the people that you're working with, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Vassia, psychologist and expert in perfectionism and burnout, and we're here today because what you're feeling might be imposter syndrome. Today, I'm uncovering 5 myths about imposter syndrome that keep you stuck, and I'm sharing what you can do in order to break free. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos on perfectionism, burnout, and how to live your best life, right? Before we dive in, I want to let you know that the next cohort of my signature program, How to Stop Perfectionism and Start Living, is starting soon. This is a transformational program, especially for high achievers who are ready to silence their inner critic and let go of self doubt. And they don't want to be controlled, actually, of this self criticism and be stuck and sabotaged by that. And they want to live with more freedom, more joy, and of course, allow themselves to grow even more. I'll share more details about it at the end, so stay tuned. Now, imposter syndrome isn't just a feeling, it's a barrier that can sabotage your career and your happiness. And as somebody who works with high achievers every day, I know how damaging it can be. So let's start by busting some myths and take back your confidence. That's the most important thing. Myth number one: if I doubt myself, I must not be good enough. Think about this. Even some of the most successful people, like actors, CEOs, athletes, whatever, people that they have actually won trophies and have accomplished things in their career, they do have moments of self doubt. I even remember my own supervisor back then when she shared that with me. She was something about 55 years old, already an established psychologist in her field and in her community. And she said to me that when she is invited as a keynote speaker in psychology conferences, she just wants to hide. She don't want to be there because she feels like a fraud. And I was shocked, like, what? You feel that? You, of all people? So just because you doubt doesn't mean that your doubts are true. So, what's really happening is that self doubt doesn't mean that you are not capable. It's just a sign that you care about doing a good job. Imposter syndrome amplifies that doubt and turns it into self sabotage, making you second guess yourself every single day. So, what is it that we can do instead? Next time that you're catching yourself doubting your abilities, what CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, suggests is that you write down your real achievements that prove otherwise. And I am going to preempt your imposter syndrome because even if you start writing your achievements or things that you think that you have accomplished, your imposter syndrome will come there at this moment saying that, well, maybe you didn't achieve that, it was just good luck. Or maybe your success with that client was not a real success because the client didn't have much experience of what a good job entails. I know that your imposter syndrome will come and doubt your achievements. So I want you to go on with that exercise and write the achievements without listening to your inner critic, without listening to your imposter syndrome. Just write them down and keep that list open and go there and write one thing at least every day. All right? The second myth: I will feel more confident once I succeed. A client of mine, he was a marketing executive, he said to me that if I just land that big campaign, I will finally feel confident. But even if he indeed crushed his goals, he still felt that he wasn't enough. And then he aimed for another goal. And that's exactly what imposter syndrome does. It tricks you into thinking that the next milestone will make the doubt go away, but it never does. If you know a little bit about schema therapy is my approach, the one that I'm using in therapy a lot. In schema therapy, this mindset comes from the schema unrelenting standards. Schema is a cluster of beliefs and feelings and behaviors. And it's called unrelenting standards, this specific schema, which means that it's like you're chasing a finish line that keeps moving. The standard is never reached. In this case, the real work is not reaching the goal. It's about learning to acknowledge what you have achieved until now. That's the trick. That's the change that we are doing. Otherwise, you're just chasing a moving goal all the time. So, what is the tip that I would like to give to you is change that mindset by celebrating small wins. After every project or achievement, it doesn't matter whether it's small or big, it doesn't matter at all because it's the mindset you're working on. Take 5 minutes to reflect on what you did well, what skills you used, and how your efforts made an impact. Myth number 3, everyone else has everything figured out. Let's blame a little bit social media with that. Social media can make this really worse. One client compared her chaotic work process to a colleague who always seemed perfect. You can see the resemblance between imposter and perfectionism. But when they finally talked, the colleague admitted to feeling overwhelmed too. And the truth is exactly that. We all struggle. We are just not great at showing it. And then, of course, we have these misunderstandings where we see other people's facade and we think that they have it all figured out, but they don't. Everybody's struggling in their own way. Imposter syndrome thrives on comparison. Imposter syndrome wants you to compare yourself with everyone, but compare silently, envy them, imagine that they're doing things perfectly. So you're judging your behind the scenes against someone's else highlight reel. So what to do instead? Let's practice again something based on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. When you find yourself comparing, shift your focus. Instead of asking, how are they better than me? Ask what I can learn from this person instead of comparing myself to them. Or even better, what it is that we have in common. What if I talk to them and I understand more about them and ask them more about their behind the scenes? So this turns envy into inspiration. Myth number 4, if I work harder, I will prove that I belong. So we feel that if we show more effort and if we show more results, then we will show to other people that we belong in this profession. We belong in this community. We belong at that level of expertise. So the thing is that what's really happening is that imposter syndrome often drives us to overcompensate. But of course, that's a recipe for burnout. Burnout doesn't equal success. And that's exactly what happened with a client of mine. She wanted to overcompensate. Her effort was incredible. She wanted to succeed, but in a way that everybody would be convinced that she is incredible. But then her health took a nosedive. This is when she started feeling it in her body. So, what we can do instead? Set boundaries. Set boundaries and define what good enough is. There's no such thing as perfection. What is good enough? How does it look like? How many hours are you going to put on that email? How many hours are you going to put on that project? How many hours also are you going to spend on your hobbies or on whatever matters for you? If we don't set a goal on where is the boundary of what matters for us, or what a good enough effort looks like, then we're going to drive ourselves to a burnout for sure. And remind yourself, I am not my productivity. You're more than that. I am not my results. I am not my work. You are more than your work. Yes, partially you are your work, but you're more than that. Myth number 5, last one. If I ask for help, then they will think that I'm incompetent. They're gonna know. I'm gonna show the truth. So I remember a client, and she was a solo entrepreneur, and she avoided asking for advice because she thought that this would make her look silly, weak, or not an expert in her field. But then what happens is that when she reached out, she found out that her network respected her even more for being open about her challenges. You know, when we're hiding our struggles, people know we're hiding. People know, understand. They don't know exactly what we're hiding, but they know that we're keeping something inside us, that we're keeping it as a secret, that we're not authentic. They can tell. They can tell from miles. So what's happening is that imposter syndrome tells you to isolate yourself. But success is not a solo journey. Shift your mindset and tell yourself and remind yourself that asking for help is a strength. Asking for help is a strength. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Start small, ask for a favor, ask for feedback or guidance, ask for somebody to share how they also experience something, what you are experiencing now. And notice how it strengthens, not weakens, it strengthens your connections and your confidence. To recap, imposter syndrome doesn't mean that you're not capable. It's just a mental barrier that we need to challenge. By addressing these myths, I have to work harder or I cannot ask for help, you can actually take control of your self doubt. You're doubting yourself because you're stepping out of your comfort zone, which means that you're growing. So embrace also a little bit of the doubt. Yes, of course, I know it. I'm doubting myself because I am experiencing something new. I am getting out of my comfort zone. Okay, it makes sense. I hear you, and then I move forward. If you're ready to take this journey further, my program How to Stop Perfectionism and Start Living is the perfect place to start. The next cohort is starting soon, and I would love to guide you toward a life with less stress, less self doubt, less self criticism, and more joy and more growth. So check the link in the description for more details. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos on how to thrive and not just survive. All right? Thank you for watching. Until next video, take good care of yourself.